See? Creepy.
We're born with nothing. We die alone.
There we go. Making our way over to this, well, statue-y location. See what's what. Some, follower tried to attack us, and we're gonna investigate that crime scene. Some hunters. Looks like they got themselves a bit of a troll problem. We can definitely help with that.
Do your worst.
Oh. Damn. We'll take a couple
Hunting,
of these.
fishing in these parts for years.
Alright. They just kind of ignore their dead friend. I suppose these things happen. Alright. Got places to go. People to see and meet. And who knows what else. We're feeling good. Feeling good. We've fulfilled our destiny as Dragonborn, yet there's some more information to come from our masked individual. Still heavily weighing in the back of our mind of what else could there be? Basically already found out, something that's been missing from our life. Parents. Let's see how we're doing. Turn right a bit. Let's keep going. Getting dark. Find the cult of Boethia.
We are Lord Boethia's faithful. Have you come to test your mettle?
Is this some kind of cult?
We are forged by Boethia's example. We carve our will upon the world through our tongues and our blade. You are nothing. An empty vapor, dispersed by the slightest breeze.
I'm not afraid of you.
Good. Perhaps I've misjudged.
Alright. Even though we know Boethia is, being trained as a child by the vigilance and all that and learning. Who's Boethia?
The Lord of Plots, Deceiver of Nations, Devourer of Trinima, the Queen of Shadows, Goddess of Destruction, he who destroys and she who erases. Many are our Lord's lofty names, but they befit only us mortals. Intone her mighty names from now until the end of time. It is for tonight. Names mean nothing to our Lord. She only cares for those who care for themselves, whose hearts are full of purpose, whose lives are full of
Well, my heart is full of purpose, and my life is full of deeds. I mean, we're the effing Dragonborn.
If you desire a glimpse of our darkness, then this is what you must do. First, prove your tongue can wield a lie. Find someone, gain his trust, lead him to the shrine above. Next, instruct your thrall to touch the pillar of sacrifice. Its magic will ensnare him, rendering him helpless. Then, girded with certitude, plant the ceremonial blade deeply, so that the waters of his heart will flow. If your will is strong enough, it will stir Boethia in her dark mansion, and she will appear before you.
Do nothing of the sort.
Then you are weak and inconsequential.
I'll see you burn.
Doing a little save.
You'll beg me to kill you before I'm done.
Oh, why is it not shouting? Did it unequip? Yeah, it's not even showing right there. Thank you, Skyrim. It's got them all there, but well, let me not change shout spell shout. The lightning is real.
That takes care of that.
I'm glad it was like, oh, you're shouting, but then was like, nah. It's gonna be one of those days, dear readers. One of those days. That's alright. We'll take care of this.
Never. Come here.
Bruce?
Regret this.
Some? Oh, there we go. What are you gonna do? Oh, here comes the troll.
I'll gut you like a horser. You can't beat me. You won't even live to regret this.
You're like flying up that rock. Oh, game froze. Okay, we're good. Took down.
I'll see you burn.
Ah!
Bruce?
Ow!
Game freezing on us.
You can't beat me.
I'll see you burn.
So this.
Fight me! No one crosses me! Ow! Just
Another freeze.
stand still!
Now we're stuck in a rock. Oh, this is a thing.
Give up while you still can!
Thank you, oh. Thank you, Skyrim. That's what I needed today. Ah, dear readers. Skyrim gods are not with us. Let's see if we're still stuck in that rock.
You'll beg me to kill you before I'm done!
Oh. Alright. Got some room.
Bruce?
Vic! Ah!
Come on,
Fight me!
Like getting stuck on all these.
Can't beat me! Ah!
Jeez. And there's the freezing again. Okay. Back down to the Lamb O'Mara.
No one crosses me.
Come on. Just make our way back up.
I'll gut you like a horker.
Some of that. Jeez. They are hitting hard, dear readers.
I'll see you burn. Come on, guide me. Boost.
I got just the perfect amount, like the guy that's like right there. It's just. We're getting stuck on these rocks. And frozen.
No one crosses
Give up. You still have.
Jeez. I don't know what is the deal
I'll
there.
see you burn.
Destroying with these hard hits. Freezing again. Come on.
Come on, guide me. You can't beat me.
Okay, let's get some magic back real quick. Sunlight?
I'll see you burn.
Give me that lifeblood. Ugh. Okay. Back to this. We came, after these people because, well, they decided, let's come after us. Oh, light armor. Able to move more quietly while sneaking, and opponents that get too close to be slowed by despair. Sounds pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, so that's just... This is something around her waist? I can't really tell, but I'll take it. Huge knapsack, alright. Yeah, essentially, since they came after us, we're gonna join them and all that other stuff. No, thank you. Alright. Get a bit of that. Let's come up here and see if there's any others who need to be smited and smoten. Magic one.
so distasteful. You have caught my attention, mortal. That is most unwise.
You think?
Tell me, why have you slain those who profess to follow in my ways?
My reasons are my own. How about that?
I abide only those whose will is aligned to my own. Those who oppose my desires perish in the most dreadful of ways. I have a purpose for which you might prove useful. But first, I must test the deftness of your guile and the strength of your purpose. Make a thrall, lure him to my shrine, prove your will is stronger. Convince him to embrace the pillar of sacrifice, and then slay him without mercy. Do this, and I shall remember you, and bestow an important task upon you. Do this not, and I shall forget you, and your soul will waste in obscurity.
Let's check this place out. We're not doing the bidding. We already have problems of our own. It's the good old pillar. Why are we carrying too much? What did I pick up? I don't remember picking up anything. Drop off a few items real quick. Okay, that's good enough. Many burnt corpses, poisons. Yeah, this is definitely a true source of evil. This is definitely not for us. So we're just gonna make our way back out. But there's something here in what we just did that reminds us there's still a little bit of unfinished business that we need to take care of. Something that's been on our minds, kind of those who've done us wrong. There's another that has done us wrong. We're gonna go have a chit chat. Hello there. Dragons come to attack. We have some unfinished business.
Sure.
Strikes are connecting with this dragon. I like that. Missed. Can't get up some stairs. What kind of a Dragonborn are we?
Sure.
The chicken resisted dragon red. Hopefully it'll come back down this way. We can take care of that. But while we got a moment... Hey, Delphine. Delphine. Goodbye. We never liked Delphine. And after what she's done to us, won't listen to us. We're not killing Parthenax. Oh. Give me smack. Give me the smack. Boom. Boom. That felt good. Okay. Esbern, you're in charge now. Alright. Now, good, we got that out of the way. So a couple other things we need to take care of. So as we were leaving the Skyhaven Temple, an arrow from out of nowhere struck us. An explosion of light erupted, and we fell down, paralyzed. And this individual came walking out of the shadows, holding what we know to be Auriel's bow. But we have Auriel's bow. How does this individual also have Auriel's bow? Or maybe it's just a, you know, a really close copy. But also, upon further glance of right here, of the individual, this is our masked leader. Unmasked, finally. He walks up, looks over Harmony's body. I told you there would be consequences if you did not do what I say. Harmony laying there. But we did what you said. We fulfilled our destiny as Dragonborn. No. You fulfilled your idea of the destiny of the Dragonborn. Not what we have all had to plan for you. Parthenax is still very much alive. Growing numbers of dragons are following him. But do you think they're just going to, you know, remain peaceful on top of High Hrothgar? In fact, there was one of them that was here attacking you. Of course, by this point, we should know we're being watched. Okay. And what you did to poor Delphine. That's also unacceptable. Although, I was never a big fan of her either. But she played a key part in this. A key part in our control. And you just had to go and shout her right off of a cliff. So, Harmony, here we are. Now, before I do what I wanted to come here and do alone, I told you I would tell you more when the time was right. So I want the last things you ever hear to be my story. As I told you, I'm one of the oldest vampires in Skyrim. That's true. But how I came to be a vampire, that's a story in and of itself. I originally came to Skyrim looking for a legend, looking for a myth, or so people said. Looking for a teacher. Looking for a mentor. So, whenever I arrived in Skyrim, that's what I was here to do originally, was to find this legend. And after what seemed like years and months and years of searching, I did not find a teacher and a mentor, no, but I did find love. Through my quest to find this myth, I found love. The love that I found, she was a vampire. And when she brought me home to see her family, I had a choice to make. I could either become a vampire, or I could be killed right there on the spot. So I chose what I think anyone else would have chosen. I found the love of my life. Don't want to die. Still have plenty of time now that I'm a vampire, to, you know, have this relationship, but also to continue to find this teacher, or this mentor, this legend. Who knows if this individual ever existed at all. So in saying all of that, I made a brick. Much like you, Harmony, I also had visions and nightmares. Nowhere near to your extent, I can assure you. But I did see things. And I felt that as I progressed through the journey, they started to get more frequent. I knew I was getting close. And one day, I made my way to a castle. So I knew something was drawing me to this castle. I arrived at the castle and was taken away. Not by guards, not by mercenaries or hired thugs, but I was taken away and placed into that place that you know as the back door. I had no idea where I was, no idea how to escape. All I knew was that someone had betrayed me. So I spent a long time figuring out this back door, and where does it go? How does one get here? And then one day another showed up. And that would be Dumbledore the Half-Dead. I didn't know who he was at the time. I never was able to speak to him. I was never able to really see him face to face. We were there, but on almost separate planes of existence, if you will. But cohabitating, sorry, dog hair, cohabitating a similar realm. I was over here. He was over here. I don't know if he actually saw me, but that right there was enough to know that there's a way. We're not killed, or at least I didn't think I was. I wasn't attacked, it was just gone. And then one day he left. He was gone. And I kept going and going and toiling. And then another showed up. This one was who I had been looking for since I arrived in Skyrim. I saw him plain as day. He, similar to Dumbledore, couldn't speak to me and I couldn't speak to him. But I saw him, and I know he saw me. Because the look in his eye when he did was that of regret. For what? I wasn't sure at the moment. I had a suspicion that he was somehow involved in how I'm here. Time goes on. We're both in this plane of existence. And eventually I figure out how to get out of this shell, so to speak, and start moving around. And I approach where this myth, this legend, I see him, helpless. I look up at him because he's trapped. I'm talking to you guys now. I'm talking. All those like crystals that are in that backdoor area, they can house souls. So that's what's going on here. So he was trapped up here. I was finally able to be face to face with who I'd been looking for the whole time. He looked at me and just said, "I'm sorry that I let you down." Okay. For a second, that was very strange for me to hear. Let me down? How so? I didn't know she was going to betray you. She? Who is this she? And so, it says, your love. The one you love more than anybody. So at that moment, I knew that somehow my love, the love of my life, trapped me here. And played a part in getting him trapped here too. The one I'd been looking for the whole time. Of course, Harmony being there. Paralyzed, not moving, but paralyzed, just... Okay, you know, like, alright, this is a lot to take in. Says, okay, so the love of your life betrayed you, and that led you to do all of this? In part. So, let me go back to my backdoor story. I looked the legend in the face and said, we're both going to get out of here. Revenge. Revenge is all we have to live for. The myth, the legend, looked at me and slowly nodded. And then he was gone. And then I was gone. I still haven't seen him since. But when I came back, Skyrim was different. Skyrim had changed. People who I thought were dead were not. They were very much so alive. I tried to find the love of my life, and when I did find her, she had no idea who I was. I went and tried to speak to her family. They had no idea either. That, on top of the, you know, disbelief, that fueled my anger. That no one knew who I was, what I had done. All of the sacrifices that I went through just to get to where I am, and no one knew. So, Harmony, let me elaborate on a couple of things. The love of my life was Serana. Of course, Harmony, you know, how is that possible? We found Serana in the crypt and encased in the Elder Scroll. This individual looks down and says, I know. That's how I found her too. The first time. And the second. Okay. So he just kind of, okay. And then from there, I made you, well, I should say, we made you go get Serana for us. She's the one that betrayed me, but I didn't want you or her to know where you would wind up taking her. And so that's when Harmony starts to put together, oh, so we went to Phalos, Moldo? And why we never saw her again is because she was either trapped or killed by the Fallen, is what Harmony's putting together. And so our individual starts nodding. Yes, Harmony. That's exactly what, you know, what's going on, because obviously she's the thrall. He can read her thoughts. Vampires, that's how they work. Anyway. Yes, that one day when you woke up and you just happened to be right outside of Fort Dawnguard, who do you think did that? We did. You were taking far too long for us. So we had to expedite things. We struck you down. Not enough, but we struck you down. Sent you to the Dawn Guard, and, well, quite frankly, the rest took care of itself. So, thank you for that. I finally, after years and years and years and years, have my revenge on the one who betrayed me. And now, I will give out the punishment for those who disobey me. So Harmony, of course, wait. You haven't told me. And if you're going to kill me, I would like to at least know, who are you? Why bring me into all of this? He looks, says, Harmony, I saw great potential in you. I thought together, all of us could shape the world into what we saw fit. This isn't about Stormcloaks and Imperials, just the Imperials happen to be fighting on one side I have subscribed to for a while, and that's that they hate Talos. I too hate Talos. But I wouldn't necessarily agree with their methods. But they are, you know, forking over the bill for us to operate. So, we gotta do what we gotta do, but it all ultimately leads to a greater purpose. And I can see now that you have no place in this new world involved with this greater purpose. You couldn't even follow a simple set of instructions. So, Harmony, with that being said, it's time for you to die. Harmony, laying there, starts to laugh and cry a little at the same time. Laugh and cry. You can't kill me. You know you can't kill me. You strike me down now and I'll just be right back. If you've been watching me this whole time, you know what's going to happen. You can knock me down over and over and over, but you can never kill me. This individual. You're right, Harmony. You are very right. You are very tenacious. Your bloodline allows you to do things beyond what most mortals could do, and even someone like myself, a vampire. But, and at this moment, Harmony stops laughing. The individual. But you don't remember, or you may not recall, at the moment, a story I told you. Dumbledore the Half-Dead. Do you remember him? Harmony, yes. Do you remember what I told you about him? Yes. He's trying to make a permanent resurrection spell. That's right. And you remember what happened when he was interrupted? It was devastation and many dead. Oh yeah. Well, by doing all of that, he happened to learn both sides, the death and the resurrection. And I just happen to have, and he pulls out an arrow, this enchanted arrow right here that I've been saving. Not for you specifically, but I knew one day I would need this. And the day has come. And it's a sun-hallowed arrow. I'm telling you this. It's a sun-hallowed arrow. That is Ariel's bow. A sun-hallowed arrow that's also enchanted with this just destruction. So I'm not gonna actually simulate this, but Harmony's laying on the ground. He knocks the arrow, turns around, you know, looking over his shoulder. Is there anything you'd like to say? Harmony, just crying, looking up at the stars. And for once in her life, she's at peace. She's actually going home with her family, with her bloodline. So, the individual turns back down to his bow, because he's taken some paces away, because, you know, the sun-hallowed arrows explode. This is really going to explode. So he takes some paces away. Like I said, he knocked the arrow. He draws back. And as he's looking, he says, Harmony, my name is Joey Lumbermouth.